ABC Wednesdays. Shifting Gears is back.
He has arisen.
Tim Allen and Kat Dennings return in television's #1 new comedy.
What?
With a star-studded premiere including Jenna Elfman, Nancy Travis, and...
Hey, buddy!
a big home improvement reunion.
Welcome.
Oh, boy.
That guy's a tool.
Shifting Gears. New Wednesdays, 8/7 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
More rewards, more savings. With American Express Business Gold, earn up to $395 back in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select shipping, food delivery, and retail subscription merchants, including the $155 Walmart Plus monthly membership credit and $240 flexible business credit. Enjoy the benefits of membership with the Amex Business Gold Card. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
My new thing fits in a clock, breaks in a car, pulls on my brain. Are you ready to see? This is my new thing. Are you ready to see? This thing is my new thing. Shyness will show, excitement will glow. I'm sharing this thing. That thing is my new thing.
Hello, friends. It's comedian Dan Wilbur.
And comedian Zach Sims, and you're listening to My New Thing, the show where other comedians talk about their latest obsession, interest, hobby, or just a thing to fill the hour so we can all go about our lives.
That's right. And we need other people to come in and tell us stuff because we don't have our own thoughts or interests. So the whole point of this show is to force people to tell us what to do with our lives because we've never had a mentor. You ever had a mentor?
That is the low-key thing in the episode. We're mostly just looking for parents.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying.
Every episode could be called, "Would you like to be my daddy?" But that people aren't going to listen to that, or they're going to think it's going to be a different kind of show. Yep. So we instead have people talk about their hobbies, and today we have the very funny Carmen Lagala talking about, I would say, exploring abandoned spaces, perhaps.
Yes. Cemeteries, old buildings, going into the woods alone. We talk about the dangers and the exciting times that she's had alone and with other people.
You don't believe in ghosts, right? You're too literal. You don't believe in ghosts.
No, I don't believe. I believe that when we're dead, it's lights out, and that's why I'm working so hard. Because I'm not afraid of meeting God, but I am afraid of the abyss that I will enter at the end of this. So I want to make sure that I do my little podcast with you and make sure that I beat the original Pokemon for the 5th time in my life.
I've been thinking lately a little bit about the Rapture kids. You know, that was like a week ago where all those kids thought and I believed in now I saw the Rapture because I grew up very religious. I saw the Rapture as like a frightening thing.
Yeah.
That I was, but I was not like, oh, this will be sweet. But can you imagine, you know, the day you think the Rapture's coming, you tell all your bullies to go fuck themselves. You haven't touched your penis for 18 years, all ready to get your eternal reward. And then you wake up and you're still in your fucking race car bed. What a tragic day that would be. And you're just like, oh, maybe God's on Hawaiian time. Maybe it's coming later. I just feel like what a tough morning that must have been for a lot of those.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, what it was like to sort of believe in Jesus Christ is that I would try to convince myself that I had died and I was raptured, and just for a day I'd walk around and be like, "Well, this is the afterlife."
That's a good move. That's a
Just
good move.
because you have to double down first. You have to
Sure.
be in a denial phase.
I'm not
before
wrong,
you
you're
can
wrong.
Get to them. Yes, they're wrong. The world changed, and I remember talking to our little hipster friends in 2012, saying, "Well, I know that the calendar ends the Mayan calendar ends in 2012, and therefore that's the end of the world." And I was like, "It's bullshit. There's all these stupid things that are always coming up like this." And they go, "Well, life will change in a big way in 2012." And I'm like, well, you're just full of shit then. Because life changed in a huge way in 2007 when we all got iPhones. So
Sure.
did the world end in 2007? And they're like, well, but 2012. And I'm like, no, it was an election year. We reelected that guy and everything was the same. It's 2016 was the fuck up.
Like they come out with like Seamless or whatever, and they're like, "That was it. That's what the
Yeah,
Mayans
like, they
Mayans
just
called
move.
it." I do love the idea. That was one of the dumbest ones because, like, you don't think maybe the Mayans were just like, "I don't feel like making another calendar." I mean, it's like
We're
it's
done.
like 150 years. Like, do we really? I need to make another. I need to continue the calendar. Really, they do it by hand. It wasn't an app like
Right.
nowadays. Where you can just scroll through. Dan, what's getting your goblet all filled up with hobby juice?
I'm so glad you put it that way because you're going to love my newest thing, which is, I've been running real hard to escape mostly my own bad feelings is what I'm going to say. My doctor told me to do it and my therapist, but honestly, it's so that I don't have migraines anymore and so that I don't hate my body. But I'm up to about 7 miles a day. I take 1 day off a week. And because of that, I've been chafing on the nipples so bad. And like to the point where I was like, well, my nipples are like scabbing and bleeding. So I got to get pasties. And I put them on and I feel incredible. I got pasties on the nipples. I got my toes all like wrapped up. I feel like the Terminator out there running, just invincible, at least as far as my nipples are concerned. My muscles are in pain.
No,
And-
Dan, are you wearing pasties right now? 'Cause
Well,
there
that's
is
what I wanted to get
confidence.
into.
Okay, all right.
Because I know this is interesting in terms of the entire country has to fucking think about this, is that the pasties I bought literally said like, it said like trans pasties, the first ones that I found. And I was like, well, I don't care. I get these. And I have a trans friend who's very open with me about things I should try. She thinks I should wear the eyeliner all the time. That I should just that it's all an excuse. Doing like Vance impressions is just for me to wear eyeshadow and eyeliner. And she's like, "You look so good. Just start painting your nails. Try it." And then we talked about if a certain
Just so you
video.
know, just for the record, that what you just described is what every parent in the Midwest, that's their greatest nightmare.
Is
a
that I'll
trans
start wearing
person.
makeup?
Well, just a trans person being like, "Put some makeup on."
Why not? Why
See
not?
how it goes.
I don't give it like a weird, football coach look when I see a straight man who's painted his nails. I'm not like, what are you, some weirdo? But I do think of it. I'm like, don't appropriate this
Sure.
LGBT thing. But I'm doing stuff that is functional, and it led me down this path to think about a Supreme Court case that was decided in June about gender affirming care. And now I'm trying to do like a bit about it. I'm so obsessed because I'm like, oh, this is like a national conversation where they were banning drugs like hormone therapy from trans people who wanted to transition, but the same drug could go to you if you just needed the hormones for quote unquote health reasons, not because your other doctor prescribed, whatever your other, the scary doctor who runs the death panels and change, the school nurse that does transition therapy at school or whatever Trump thinks is true. And so I was thinking about the fact that my friend had to take Propecia, which I take for my hair, and she took for hair on her body, but we were taking the same pill. But there's a law now that's like, you can't have that pill covered, or you can't have that pill as a minor or in these circumstances, but Dan can have it. And I'm not even doing it as gender affirming. I'm doing it as age denying. And that's wrong. So it was a long build up just to say, like, that's what I've been thinking about. Isn't that weird? I'm buying pasties that are for like burlesque dancers, or if I'm going to be on the runway and I don't want my nips showing. But I'm buying them so I can run, 7 miles and eat candy again. But other people are actually suffering. Yep.
Never bled, never really ran that far to bleed, but you have I guess I have stronger nipples, and I've never thought about that, but
that's exactly
when
right.
I think about the two of us, I think, yeah, sure, I probably have stronger nipples. It's something I've never thought about, but yeah, I guess so. I guess that's just, and I'm not trying to brag, but I guess it's just something about me. I just happen to have really strong nipples. Could cut glass. No, but couldn't cut. Maybe they're dull, actually, because they don't.
Yeah, they're dull. They're not.
Yeah, they don't bleed nonetheless. Well, my new thing, Dan, what I'm currently obsessed with, it's a lifelong obsession, and it's very funny to follow up what you're talking about with this, is it's baseball playoff season, Dan, and I'm loving every second of it. It's the best time of year. I have so many memories coming home from school and being very excited to watch the baseball playoffs, and then seeing my stepmom watching Dr. Phil. And then me having to go, can we maybe put on the baseball game? And she was like, he's saving someone's life. He's a good man. He's always going to be a good man. He's not going to do anything fucked up in 30 years. This guy's a hero. But yeah, I love baseball playoffs. I get that it's a boring sport for most people, but it's all it is tension the whole time. Because there's so much downtime. So it's just the whole time, everything, nothing could happen or something could happen at all moments. And it's a real thrill ride. I love baseball playoffs. And you love the 90s Cleveland.
I love 90s Cleveland, and I loved the Cleveland versus the Cubs. And I was even fine with the Cubs taking it.
Sure.
And I relived that magic of the 90s. I know exactly what you're talking about because I started to pace. And I was like, I don't like baseball. And I was like watching it on TV. And I just started to pace, and I wouldn't leave the room. I was just staring at whatever was happening. And then it was like, well, that's the fourth foul ball. And instead of being like, yawn, I was like, this is the most intense moment of my life. It's great. Great sport.
I remember I was at a Cubs bar in Burbank, California, maybe North Hollywood, for Game 7 of the 2016 World Series. And I remember when Rajai Davis hit the tying home run in the 9th, and LeBron is going crazy, and I'm just surrounded by Cubs fans. And I've never seen a group of – I mean, it's intense. It's so – like, I'm not even shitting on them. But seeing, like, a group of people turn on each other and just, like, it was like when the election happened later that year in 2016. Just, like, the vitriol and like the yelling about like decisions and like the shut the fuck ups. And because also the guy pitching for the Cubs was Aroldis Chapman, who, just a little fun fact about him, absolutely a domestic abuser. So it was screaming about like, he shouldn't even be out there. And somebody else, I had a buddy who's like a nice enough guy, but he was like a comic who like wanted to go the other way. So he was like, I think it's good that he did it, just to like try to get laughs. Like, clearly not. I don't think he really felt that in his heart, but he's just trying to get. So anyway, just the verbal violence in that, it was like one of the most intense rooms I'd ever been in, to be someone who did not care at all and was just kind of happy. Would have been happy to see either team win.
Well, that's the mistake I made, was to wear my Cleveland gear to a Cavs-Knicks game when LeBron was on the Cavs during that season when they came and won it all.
What a year!
And the Cavs were down by 30 in the fourth quarter. And LeBron just decided that he was going to win the game himself. And so there were all these Knicks fans like jeering him, and they were laughing. And then LeBron turned it on and like beat them by 10 points.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I can't wear this shirt. I'm going to get murdered. That was really high stakes.
Well, because sports fandom, people, when you're not a sports fan, I don't think people understand that it's a powerless feeling when things start to unravel. And that's why, men call their kids, cucks or whatever. That was like the tamest thing I could think of. I had 18 other things in my head. But that's why that stuff happens, is because you feel your whole life unraveling, and you have no control over what is happening. And also you've decided if LeBron James is good, that means I'm good. It's like all that stuff wrapped in.
Well, that's why I picked the winning team. So I didn't have to feel that way. I got to feel joy for no reason.
That's why they call Cleveland Titletown, USA, all the city of champions. That's
definitely what they call it. The mistake on the lake, and also the greatest place on earth. And you know what is also the greatest place on earth? Wherever Carmen Lagala is, she's going into abandoned places. She's breaking and entering sometimes, and we talk about all those legal and illegal activities during this conversation, which you get to hear right now. Here's how I'd like to start, is that this is the second time we've had a guest come and tell us that their new obsession is something illegal. So, no, not the second time that anyone's done this subject.
Thank
but
God.
Who knows?
Okay.
We had Nick Maritato talk about graffiti,
Oh, yes.
minor vandalism, and I just want everyone listening, before we even get into this podcast, disclaimer, is that anything we're about to discuss you should do before you're 18, before they can get there. Just do all of it. Do all your graffiti, do all your breaking and entering before they can send you to real prison. So with that, that's what I think we should start.
I feel like I didn't read the email. Is it illegal what we're talking? I guess technically it's trespassing or whatever. Just having
I'm
a good
gonna
time.
say maybe all but one was illegal that I'm thinking of off the top of my head.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
And also, I never was there. All of these
Sure.
are jokes. Ha ha ha. In case this is being seen in a court of law.
I don't think they're coming
Fuck
for
you,
you.
Judge. Yeah, no, they're not.
They're coming for Dan.
Wow,
That's for
it's-
something else.
yeah, that's something else. It's like 50 Cent. I'm going to play this track in court is a famous thing he said on an album where he's like, they can play this in court. I'm going to kill you. And that's you. That's you. But instead of killing somebody, you're going into scary places that are closed. Before we get into breaking into scary places, I'm just I'm just whetting people's appetite for this episode. Were you an obsessive kid? Did you grow up? You grew up in Vermont?
I did.
So you're obsessed with
Obsessive.
cheese, Ben and Jerry's.
I had
Magic
I had
Hat.
some weird little collections every now and again. I'd be like, I'm collecting the tabs off of soda cans. What else? I did rubber band ball. I still own a lot of these things, like certain caps and things. I'm just like a crow. I'm like a crow.
How many rubber band balls are you working with right now in your?
I
know your
still
state sports.
own at least one, and
Okay.
I don't know what to do with it because you can't really bring that to Goodwill and be like, for the
Sure.
people. Nobody wants that, especially an old rubber band ball. I think if you bounced it, it would explode. So maybe
Yeah.
I should
Well,
give it
let
to my
me-
nieces and nephews. They'd probably
That's
like
in
it.
the anarchist cookbook. If you
Yeah.
tie enough rubber bands, it explodes.
What is my question? Is just I've been to Vermont once. Dan and I actually went together as friends and lovers.
Romantic.
What was your family's bumper sticker game situation? That was my main takeaway. Is that the state is mostly made out of bumper stickers.
Wow, that's such an interesting. Yeah, there's so many like coexist bumper stickers, but my family never had any. We were those
good.
people, super liberal, progressive, but never had the stickers on the car to back it up. I don't even think we had a Subaru growing up. I think we had, I think we were a Toyota family, if I recall correctly. A lot of minivans and such.
Now, have you ever
Yeah.
taken a bumper sticker off your car? You're saying you haven't had one on your car, but have either of you ever had the demoralizing moment where you're like, actually, I don't think that I want to tell people that I love Obamacare.
I no longer care about
Fuck
Tibet.
breast cancer. Yeah.
I'm not going to coexist.
Yeah.
We never had any bumper stickers. I don't think we ever even had political bumper stickers. We stood for nothing in my family. I think we had a Sir Saint, which was an old New Orleans Saints mascot on a
Yeah.
Mitsubishi, which used to make
Oh,
cars.
classic.
I saw an Apple logo. They give you an Apple, with if you buy a Mac, they give you a bunch of stickers that you can put on your car. And I saw one and I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Mac,
Yeah.
Mac user.
Advertising for
I'm a Mac
Macintosh. Yeah.
user.
That's crazy.
They need it.
I did have one bumper sticker that I never put on my car. My best friend when I was in high school thought it was so funny, and I didn't think it was funny at all. It was a bumper sticker that said, "If you're looking for my cat, it's under my tires." And it's funny in theory, but no, I couldn't. No, that's so aggressive.
Why?
I don't know. She thought it was hysterical. She's like, "Carmen's gonna love this," and I was like, "This is awful."
I do have a question that's a little bit of a subject change, and it was something you provided a list of things you're interested in now that we combed through and chose from. And one of them
immediately I was like, "Oh my God, wait, what about this one?" I picked so many boring ones, and then all of a sudden was like, "Wait, I've always been a little B&E freak."
Yeah, it turns out you love to hang out among the dead.
I love
let me go the one quick one. One of them was pimple popping, and I don't want to spend 45 minutes talking about it. But I do want to ask, I know it's a thing people like. Is it the same joy people have when they watch somebody like power wash a rug? Is it like an ASMR kind of situation?
It itches the same scratch. Scratches the same itch.
It itches the same scratch.
Have you ever tried to pop a lover's pimple? Is that something you've enjoyed?
I've done blackheads on their backs. That is enjoyable. Yes. The pimples I don't actually as much like. I really like a big blackhead or something you got to scoop out. Like, yum, 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 yum. Yeah. Earwax removal.
Earwax removal.
Videos. The hoof, the when they're cleaning a hoof. I love when they put a cow's hoof up on a thing and they just rinse it out and scrape down till they get the pus out.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's not sexual. It's not a sexual thing. You just enjoy.
I mean, I jerk off, but that's unrelated.
That's just what you're doing.
Just taking care of business.
Just trying to do a few things at once.
But you're grossed out by it, Dan. You're making faces.
I'm so grossed out. I was grossed out when I had, former lovers that wanted to do it. I just think it's so gross. And I even when they were doing it, I was like, please don't. And I will never return this favor. I'm going to throw up. And this is from a person who this week ate mayonnaise for a sketch directly out of the jar. So there's nothing grosser to me than pimple popper, and the fact that it's on TV and I think Zach has talked to me about this, is like the fact that it's on TV and you can just stumble on it. Like you just
I've never
find
talked
it.
about this, but I'm listening.
Oh, I hate that.
Then
I was talking to myself and pretending it was you.
People love it. They go crazy for this stuff.
No.
It is, but ASMR also does nothing for me. I don't know how to calm my brain.
Me either. Everybody has something though. What's yours, Dan?
What? Gross or like an ASMR?
No. Like a thing that like scratches something and like you're like, yes, good.
I mean, I couldn't see like one thing out of this side of my periphery without wanting to see it on this side when I was a kid. And I'd explain it to my parents and they're like, yeah, you just have obsessive compulsive disorder. Like I would just be like, I'd see like a pole on this side and I'd have to turn my whole body to make sure I saw the pole on the left side. So there's a lot of order in my life that if you look at any room I'm in, you're like, there's no order here. But I need to. But
there is to you.
If there's empty space,
so like
I have
a perfect
to fill
little
it.
Order that gets your brain going. Yes.
Yes, I would say a big old stack of books like next to my bed scratches an itch because I'm like, well, I have all of these. It's the same as when I commute to our show, and every time I do it, I bring a little retro video game system. I bring a book that I'm reading. I bring my iPad in case I'm like, I could watch a movie because this train ride is long enough. I have my notebook and I have my phone, which has information from everywhere, and also every person I've ever met. I could contact them at any moment. And there's something about like, and then all I do is I sit on the train and I think my little thoughts. And I look out the window and I go, maybe I'll tell a joke about fruit tonight.
You don't even listen to music or anything?
I don't listen to music. I raw dog
mind?
it, and I listen to the idiots on the train and complain about it later. So I'm listening to people like get fired from their jobs or like cold call people about sales, complain about their boss or whatever, break up with people. And I like live for it. And then I'm like, oh, I had to bring all this stuff because I'm so afraid of being bored. And if you've hung out with me for 5 seconds, you know, I'm just constant.
Yeah. You're a doomsday prepper, but for commutes.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. The idea of not being properly.
I'll do the crossword. That'll dig into, that's a pimple popper, I think. is that if I can do a crossword and keep going over it and over and over it, like a very hard one, and finish it, I will. That'll do it for me for like a whole day.
So wholesome.
I like to hear an old man discuss baseball stats.
Yes,
from about 1978. A simpler time. That's what calms me. And we could talk about this all day, but what we're here to talk about is violent acts, people laughing in the face of the law and telling the government to go fuck themselves. I think, like I said, I didn't fully read the email, but we're talking about.
I like to burn things. I'm obsessed with fire. That'd be a good episode.
Absolutely. Please, we're getting there.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, call my uncle. Hey.
Is he an arsonist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have an uncle arsonist?
Yeah,
Of course. Everybody's
2025. Get one.
a felon of some sort. But you love to maybe explore an abandoned building? Is that what we're getting into here? Okay.
Yeah. I like to discover abandoned places and then go in. I've never broken a window or a door in or anything like that. But there's always a door that's open.
Sure.
Stop. If you don't want me to come in, don't leave the door open. What was the building wearing is what I'm saying. I definitely used to spend a lot of time alone in the woods as a child. That might be where it started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just keep finding them and people tell me about them. But like a lot of them, sometimes I stumble upon them. I go running a lot. I walk a lot. I do a lot of in the woods activities. It's so easy to murder me. It's insane that nobody has.
You're doing this alone?
Yeah.
You're doing it alone.
Off the grid. So yeah, I play a game when I go in the woods called How Long Till Lost. It's my own little personal game. You just figure you go until you're lost and then you try to find your way back.
My God.
Yeah.
It's going out to sea until you can't see land. And then you're like,
yeah,
I'm just out here now.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I think you should try it.
Yeah.
Kayak across the Atlantic or whatever those weirdos do. That's okay. So it started as like an outdoorsy thing. Mm-hmm. What was your first? Was it a creepy thing, or was it around Halloween?
I do like a creepy. Oh, sure. I love Halloween. I love a creepy vibe. I'm trying to think of my first one. When I was in high school, I do remember this was maybe less creepy, but there was a pond that I would go row around on, and me and my friend saw the summer camp and it seemed like nobody was there and that it was pretty decrepit. So we went inside and stole some bread. There was bread. So we're like, oh, somebody clearly is here sometimes. And then we saw there was a guy sleeping. We had to hightail it out of there. They didn't find out. I think they were just hungover and partying in their shed. And then we took the bread and fed the ducks. Win.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So what about...
He might have been crashing the place too,
Right.
Who's to
it's
say?
all God's nature, really, when you get down to it, We're all God's nature.
That was my first moment of political awakening was when I was 14 and a bunch of my friends went and got on a beach like after a homecoming dance or something. We were skinny dipping and some cops came over and they were like, this is a private beach. And I literally was like, how can you own the beach, man?
Yeah.
And I got into an argument with a police officer with my dong out. Why not? Come on. I didn't bother putting my clothes back on. I put my shirt back on, but not my pants. And
you're winning the
But I distinctly remember it. Like I woke up that second where I was like, you can't own, one should own property, man. And
couldn't you just go further into the water to the point at which they don't own it, which is what, like 10, 20 feet?
I think one drunk kid did do that. He did not want to explain to his parents what he was doing. And he just swam. We never saw him again. He is dead.
What about, is it a warehouse? Give me an example of a place, Carmen, that gets you excited.
The most recent one, this one was great because I wasn't planning on it. I stumbled upon it. Those are the best ones. I was in upstate last month with my family. They were at Cooperstown. They had that little league baseball tournament, Baseball Hall of Fame. And we stayed on a lake. I forget the name of it, but it had a really dumb name, like Penelope. I don't remember. Anyway, I could find it. There's an abandoned, I went for a run around the peripheral of the lake, and on the other side, there was nobody there. And then all of a sudden it was like, camp is this way. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to camp for sure. And then there were just a bunch of buildings in the woods with nobody in them, with like grass overgrown and ivy. And it was like Boy Scout camp. And I was like, there don't seem to be any boys at this camp. And just went up there and, probably got full of ticks at the time and just went into every little building that I could. And they left the church unlocked. That's the one I got into. And it was creepy as hell.
Yeah.
I'll send you pictures if you want to insert them. It was like this triangle building. But then when you got inside, it was very welcoming. There was like every religion was represented on the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, because this is a camp. I looked it up. The camp like only shut down like 2 or 3 years ago. It looks like it's been down since the 60s. It was definitely built a long time ago, but it looks like it's been out for a long time, but only a few years.
Wow.
They ran out of money. They keep having to pay these, kids for getting touched by the leaders.
I see. Yeah, once you have every religion in there, there's 3 out of 12 of them are famous for that. See, the closest thing to that is I've done is all legal because you can do that at the Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn. Sometimes you walk over the crest of a hill and you've just been walking through graves, and then there's like a little church and it's open. And I'm like, why is this open? How is there this much trust? And then I'm like, I'm probably being watched. right now.
No, not even. There's a graveyard. Oh, I love graveyards. Huge enthusiast. There's a really tiny one in Bushwick next to a bar called Purgatory. Great name, especially when you're next to a graveyard. And then if you go in there, sometimes they leave like this hatch unlocked and you can go down into like this crypt area.
No.
Yes.
Well, that's
full of cobwebs.
That was a question I thought of while you were talking, is how often are you doing this in New York City? Because I'd imagine
it's harder in New York City, but you can still do it.
It's harder in New York City. Yes. So
the best place
what's a
in
New York City one?
The best one I like. This one is not illegal. You can go, but it's sort of hard to find. You go to Rockaway Beach. No, not Rockaway Beach. Fort Tilden Beach. You know how they have all those ruins, the fort ruins? They have a sandy path, maybe like 3/4 of a mile to the right when you go to Fort Tilden Beach. And then there's a path. And if you keep following this path, it will take you to a hole. And the hole is cold and dark. And if you crawl into the hole, then you are in like this underground, weird, creepy bunker that looks like where they maybe sacrificed people in the last couple of years. It's really, there's like buckets with probably blood. I don't know. But there's also like, if you walk around it far enough, you do realize that there's a better way to get in and out that's like open and isn't a sandy hole.
There's a door. There's a door.
There's a door next to it. Yeah. That says, come on in.
God.
Come explore the fort.
I have multiple questions and I don't want to, anyway, but one, you seem to be someone who doesn't feel fear. That's the first thought I'm having when you're telling me this. Cause my fight or flight, I think would be too much. So my 2 questions, are you afraid? Are you somebody, do you fear getting in trouble? And then my follow-up would be do you love ghosts? Basically, how much of this is ghost related or the hope for something terrifying to happen?
So I think a lot of it comes from the fact that I am a white woman and I would be the first to die in any horror movie. I definitely don't fear getting in trouble because I'm very, very charming. And I feel like I know how to weasel my way out of like, oh, officer, I heard a sound and wanted to make sure the kitten was okay. Like I can make up shit on the fly. We do improv every night. You guys get it.
Yeah, I have to go. I'm actually the grave digger here.
Yeah.
Pull out a shovel. This is my job.
My travel shovel. Yeah, I usually have fake flowers with me that I'll bring to the graveyard because I don't want anyone to think that I'm there disrespectfully when I totally am.
Sure.
And then I'm like, no, I'm just going to visit my great grandfather, Dr. Ships in the night, or whoever's right next to me.
That is smart,
there's a Colonel Asserson in a graveyard, and man, is
that's pretty good.
Just Colonel Asserson. Yes, sir.
To get all the way up the Colonel with that name, you know, he knew what he was doing. You know, he's a climber. Have you seen a ghost? Do you have any ghost
he was a
interactions?
bottom climber. I don't super believe in any of that stuff. I do think I'm not super afraid of it because, again, I have this like, well, I think the ghost would understand that I have good energy and that we can be friends or whatever. but I've definitely felt bad energy in places and have left or not gone in to places that I have thought about going into. So I don't always make it into every building, because some buildings I'm just like, something's up. And it might not even be like, it's not even necessarily like ghost energy. It's more like there might be a live man in there who is on methamphetamine. So it's more of that kind of a dark energy rather than something supernatural.
Well, you got to follow your intuition if you're a woman just walking in places
I've never been
alone.
wrong.
Yeah. I have so much fear. Just I would not be able to do this. The closest thing was one time I took an elevator to the like wrong floor of a place and it was closed, and I just sort of walked around for a while and I was like, I shouldn't be here. And then I had tripped an alarm and a cop started talking. I was a little kid, by the way. This was like, we walked into a restaurant and I was like, I was just looking around and I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Well, the problem is that I was already, 6 feet tall. And I was a child, but they were like, you look like an adult man breaking in to get a free soda. But I just, so I've only done this on accident. I've never participated, I think. So we were
what
talking
about like a cornfield, like a corn maze at night? Ever done that? Like when it's closed? Because you can't really close a corn maze, can you? You can just tell people to leave. And then you can go back at night. How about that? Have you done that?
My girlfriend is from Indiana. My girlfriend's from Indiana, and she has talked about doing a lot of hanging out.
Yeah.
In the corn. A lot of corn time, yeah.
Yes, a lot of corn time. That's what we call it.
Sitting in a field and staring at each other. Yep. I had, years ago, I was with some friends on mushrooms, and we were just walking around Brooklyn. And there was an open warehouse door with a bunch of equipment. And we went in there. I believe I got in a tractor of some sort. Not a tractor, something felt tractor-esque.
Yeah, you got to take those pics for Instagram.
Absolutely. Taking the pics and pretending to pull a lever or whatever. And then we went to leave, and a cop rolled by and like stared at us. And then he was like, oh, look, they're all white, and just kept going. And we waved and shook hands. And then Mike Lawrence was there, and he gave us real judgmental looks. But it was a fun time. Now, do you have any abandoned amusement parks? Because I'm from New Orleans, and we have a big abandoned amusement park since Katrina. So I don't know if that's something you've ever danced with. Yeah.
I would love to. I've never, but man, that's on my bucket list high up there. That sounds incredible. A House of Mirrors. Ooh, give me the creepiest ride. Oh, that sounds ideal. Or like those abandoned cities in like China, and I would love.
Absolutely, I would love.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm ready to buy a $20,000 Italian villa that no one lives in or whatever.
Yes. They're only 20,000.
They're like ghost towns. Well, they'll like pay you. There's some subsidy that they're like the government needs people to go live there.
Where?
So
I will. I'll make my own little village.
Let's Google abandoned Italian village. You will live, among 5 people waiting to die who only speak Italian. But that's
they will be my best friends. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the Italians I like most.
Giuseppe,
just cooking and waiting to die,
and they're mad at me for some reason. I love them already.
That's where you could go. I was wondering if there are other tools that you think people should have for entering spaces. Flowers at the cemetery is just a really great idea. But like, what are you doing? You got a utility belt? You got a Batman, like a flashlight and a grappling hook?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's one place in Vermont. I think I was a little bit prepared for it. There's a really cool spot in Vermont that is an abandoned camp, like a place that adults would go to they were supposed to. I don't think it ever opened. If it did, it was open for like 2 years, and it's still there. It's on the waterfront of Lake Champlain. You have to go off of like route. I'm trying to give people directions so they can go, because I haven't been there in years. It had the biggest spiders I've ever seen the last time I went there. Oh, God, they were so big. Because they just thrive there. Spiral staircases, underground passageways, and like pamphlets in the basement so you could figure out like what this place was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Camp Allenwood in the 60s, 50s. sometimes, let's just like a long time ago when women wore the little dresses and the men, one of those. And it's just still chilling out there. I forget the question. Oh, right. I had to bring flashlights for that because that is very, although they kept the electricity on as of 20 years ago. So
Really?
Nice.
that was literally 20 years ago. And it didn't trip off like it didn't tip anybody off that we were there, that we turned on the lights and the lights worked.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
And that was when you brought somebody with you. Is it like a thrill to bring a guest and they're scared?
Yes.
Is that why you bring them? Because they're like an everyman?
Absolutely.
And you're like, you're the straight man. I'm the crazy person.
Yeah. I know a place. And they're like, what? This was
We're not here to make out.
Yeah.
We're here to explore.
Yeah, we didn't. We kept little trinkets from it and everything. Every now and again, we're like, I wonder how Camp Allenwood's doing. Somebody figured it out from my college, and then it just got kind of passed down through people. But there are only a few of us I think of that actually went. And I brought my friend one year, and we couldn't get in because they had sealed the window. And again, like I said, I don't break things, but they had sealed off the window that we were using as our access point.
Right.
So I got to go check on it again. This is a great reminder that I haven't been in like 10 years to try.
It's probably an Amazon warehouse by now, but
yeah, probably because it is like prime real estate. Prime. Yeah. It must just cost too much money to take it all down because it's definitely not in working order. There's like pianos that are like the keys are sunken in and don't play anymore. Like the relics that are left behind are very beautifully haunting. And somebody should film a movie there if it were at all safe, which it's for sure not.
Well, what I like about this, you're finding wonder and majesty in the everyday, and we could all do that. But I like also that it seems like you have rules and there's a respectfulness. You're not going to break windows. You're not going to, do you have any other rules? Like you're not vandalizing. You're not tagging. You know, you're just exploring. Yeah,
discovering, exploring. Yeah, I did take the bread from that guy's house, but that was for the ducks.
That's true.
That was for the ducks.
Yeah, the ducks. The ducks ate well that day.
Have you ever gone to a mall? That's my goal now. For talking to you.
That would be the best.
Yeah, I don't mean an abandoned mall. I just mean a mall now in 2025.
They don't have that many of them anymore.
Oh, they're so bad. They're so scary. They're so scary on their own.
At night, they're very liminal. The little I love a liminal space.
Yep.
Anything that you're like, a school after dark? This isn't. This is a different vibe.
I did go. This is also Katrina based. Katrina left a lot of fun, empty places to explore.
Positives to Katrina.
Yeah. I do remember going to my old elementary school, and this was probably about a year or so after Katrina, and it has since burned down. But it was interesting to explore. It was just water damage and all that shit, but just to see the different classrooms. And the whole time, for me at least, because I'm panicked most of the time anyway, but you're always afraid that somebody's going to come in and arrest me or attack me. But it was fun and take photos and all that shit. And you do feel like, it's an adventure. You feel like you're discovering something other people have not. You feel like you're winning in some way. I feel like I get it to a degree. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that sounds really cool. That just reminded me that when I was... Oh my God, I would love to. It sounds like the perfect town for me.
But that was a question I had too, was that I was thinking before this is that you're not, like you said, you're not a ghost person. So this isn't like you're not going on a ghost tour. You're not a haunted house person. You more just like seeing something that you're not supposed to see. It feels like.
Yeah. I mean, I'd fuck with a haunted house for sure. But I wouldn't necessarily, I think sometimes it's like too set up. It's like too forced. Where they're like, ooh, it's an insane asylum. And I'm like, well, I'm insane, A, and like B, they were just torturing people with autism. Like this isn't like
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was just going to ask that, do you go to a museum now and you're like, ugh, it's so curated. Ugh, I don't need to see these. Put some cobwebs on these statues. I want it to look old and shitty. This isn't scary at all. The Met. That's you at the Met.
That's me at the Met.
Yeah. When I was in, there wasn't a question there. I just wanted.
I'm like, that's me.
Yeah, that's
definitely me at the MoMA. I'm like, well, I guess that's modern art. Never mind. It's in the name. Shut up. Stop it. Nuh-uh. But no, like the Egyptian. I'm like, this isn't scary even a little bit.
No.
I do like the ones, there's some in like Spanish countries where there'll be like the actual skulls of people. And that's cool. I like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're like, we
I've been
tortured
more-
these people during the Inquisition. And I'm like, no, cool. Cool.
Yeah, I'm more creeped out by the Alamo Draft House like wall of wax faces. Have you seen that? There's just like a room that's going into the bar, and it's just a bunch of. I'm like, I think it's just prosthetics that people wore in different movies, and there's something about like walking past them that I'm like, I can't do. This shouldn't be here. I don't like this. But
Ooh,
so yeah,
I'm gonna
check
go.
it out.
If you don't like it, I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, if you don't
So you don't
like
like
it, it's
pimple
right-
popping videos. Based on that,
you
I'm
go
gonna
up-
like it.
Yeah. You go up an escalator past a Target. It's a very authentic experience. You're in a mall.
one, yeah.
You're in a mall. Yeah, I was thinking about this just now. Is that I used to do basically a Meals on Wheels program for the homeless. Just a fun thing that I want to tell people. I used to have a conscience.
With no sequitur. Like,
Yeah, no
no
sequitur
story
at
to
all.
follow it up. I help people.
I help
Anyway, back to
Well,
you.
I was just thinking about Zach in New Orleans, and I was like, oh yeah, Cleveland was maybe the scariest place I've ever lived, because we would get in the van, and there were just a couple times where I realized, like, I'm just with some 26-year-old guy. Like, I'm not with like a person who's like a trained martial arts dude. So we would just pull up to places that were like abandoned factories, and people who were squatting just like came out. Mostly you would run into, I think, crack and meth heads, because they'd be talking really fast and they would want to help you. They'd be like, I don't want to take this hot dog without helping you, without doing something for you. And I'd be like, please, no, just read this little prayer with me from my Catholic school. It's on the side of the cup, which is also feels awful. You had to give them like, you're like, just remember the Catholics gave this to you.
There's so
Read
many
it out.
programs like that they're
Yeah.
just like, we'll help you, but you gotta talk about God for a sec. And it's
Yeah.
like, God damn it.
Yep, I just wanted to just hang out, eat a hot dog with 16 dudes who came out of an abandoned building. And
I mean,
so,
I love that.
It
That
was.
sounds super fun.
I think about it all the time, where I'm like, that was terrifying. And no
Yeah.
one, like none of our parents, all our parents signed little affidavits saying, go for it. And so I just wondered, my question now is, would you ever squat? Would that be like camping to you? Just for fun?
No, that's fair.
Oh man, that is a great question. Squat.
Would you ever spend the night
rent's
in one of these
high.
places? Would
Rent
you ever
is high
spend the
right
night
now.
on a dare?
What? Oh, yeah, I would. I would do it without the dare. I guess I never have though. But I don't know. Sometimes the air quality is not good in those places. They,
Right.
they're not getting
Sure.
aired out very often. I'm like, I don't know what asbestos from the 50s I'm absorbing into my blood right now.
Yeah.
And I think, you never know if any of those places are somebody else's hiding
Yes.
squat place.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah,
walk
you don't
into
know
the
for
woods and there's somebody squatting there, I'm like, I'm so sorry, because it's their house. I just walked
Of
into their
course.
house. And that happens a lot in New York City. I walk into people's literal like living rooms and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'll head out.
I believe it. In the park, I guess you're not exploring.
Yeah.
Do you like to fuck around the woods at like Prospect Park or whatever? See what's going on?
Prospect Park doesn't have, as to
Not
my
good for it?
knowledge, anybody squatting. I'm sure there's somebody who squats there every night, but I don't run into them because I don't really go through the woods at night. I'll go in the day there's a place that used to be a swimming pool way back in the day, and then they made it into, it's like a park. What's the name of that park? But it has like a bike trail around it. That's like up past Bushwick in the Queens area. Highland Park. Okay, so they used to have this like pool there, or like lake, that man-made lake, and then people kept drowning in it, and so they drained it, and now it's like this forest. And if you like hop the fence and go into it, sometimes there's like little encampments and stuff. One I found had like one of those big dog crates, but it felt like a person was maybe kept in there
No.
rather than a dog. It had like a real human was here vibe.
Sure.
But
Been
Human
there
hair.
where they slept. They maybe weren't a prisoner. It could have just been,
Yeah.
where they were hanging
yeah,
out.
Nice little crate.
Yeah.
I like to feel held, you know,
yeah.
by
Sure.
whatever. I like to feel swaddled by
Yeah,
my
no one can get in
surroundings.
your crate. You're just in your little crate.
So here's a question, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not trying to be insulting. What is the end game What is the like? Do you document it? Do you just like go around for a week with the adrenaline? I mean, if you're not scared, you're probably not getting as much adrenaline as I would from this experience. But are you just like, wow, that was a great exploration, and now I can go write bits.
I don't even write bits about it. It's just for me, I think. I take pictures usually so that it goes to my cloud, and if I go missing, people know the last place that I was.
Smart.
And then I'll occasionally post it in stories. I'll be like, check out this abandoned church I found. But pretty rarely, other than that, I might tell like one person. I told somebody about this abandoned train track I found, and then a bunch of people were flooding me with like, I want to go to the abandoned train track. And I was like, no. That's not what this is.
I'll meet you at those train tracks.
Yeah.
That's like TikTok tourism. Like everything's becoming like
exactly.
everyone's
I don't
going
want
to the
other people.
same part. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin that place. Or like there are people working there that don't want you there. And there's like one of the tracks is active. I don't think other people are doing the research that I do. There's 3 tracks. You got to know which one has there's one that has an active train on it, and you will fucking die if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, because it's a mile-long underground tunnel. There are some egresses that you can like dive out of the way, but you got to time it if you're going to be on the wrong track.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You don't even like hearing it. The idea.
No, I'm turning into a dad every year. Without children, I just think about stuff I did, and I think about stuff my friends do, and I go, please don't hurt yourself by hanging out on this roof.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom hates these stories, but she knows that I've been like this since I was a little kid. She knows very well what I'm up to. She's like, just tell me about it after, like when you're back, you know?
Right.
And you have friends sending you, like, they'll be like, oh, look at this warehouse, filled with dread and a cracked window. You got to go check this out. Is that happening?
No, nobody's scouting for me, because I don't. Not a lot of people know. This is the most I've ever talked to, that I even understood. This is my first time understanding that it's an obsession and hobby of mine. When you sent that out, because I was like, books, reading, and then I was like, wait, I'm obsessed with creepy little weird adventures. How did I not? I just don't think about it consciously, and I don't make jokes about it. It's just a thing that I do in my free time, I guess, when the opportunity arises.
This feels like a little bit of a silly question, but let's say somebody at home, my mom is like, I want to get, doesn't have to be my mom, but anybody's mom is like, I want to get into
Cheryl Sims.
Sure, absolutely. She's a lovely woman. What if you nailed it? Wouldn't that be crazy? What anybody who's thinking about maybe this seems fun, what would be a way to, is it just keeping your eyes peeled when you're walking in your local town? How does one get into such an exploration?
Yeah, you see a path or like an area that you haven't explored or been to. Like even in Prospect Park today, it's one of the most popular parks. I'm alone on the dirt trails in there for 15, 20 minutes at a time.
Wow.
So how is this city of millions of people not curious enough to take the trails in the park, you know? So take those little, if you see a little trail, you're like, where does that go? That's always how it starts is I'm like, what's that? Where does that path go?
No, fair enough.
Take that path. Take the path. Take the weird path. You have a phone now. There's no danger. There's not as much danger.
I do love, that's one of my...
Thank you for that caveat. There's no danger.
There's no danger. Yeah.
There's no danger.
That is one of my favorite things.
Crackheads and meth heads and like homeless people don't want to hurt you. That's the thing. I think people are afraid of that more than anything. And it's like, they get nothing out of doing that. That's, you're probably, just be like, oh, sorry. Go.
It is I don't know. It is a nice way to commune. It's one of the things I like about New York is that there are parks that you can actually get lost in. Like I lived in LA as well, and you can go on a hike, but you can forget you're in a city.
Yes.
In some of these big parks. Bushwick doesn't really have that, but I guess Bushwick has the warehouse community.
It has that Highland Park, and that is where I found the abandoned train tracks that have tunnels. There are places in Bushwick. Bushwick's got like the warehouse area. Yeah, those warehouse areas too. It definitely has a lot of weird little liminal spaces that I only knew about when the pandemic happened, because otherwise I never would have come close to it. Pandemic happened. I was like, well, let's go for a walk. Why is this gate open? Where does that go?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was living in Bushwick during the pandemic. There's definitely like a lot of, and I'll have this where I live sometimes too, but there would be a lot of places in Bushwick where I would be walking at night and kind of nobody around. And I would think, oh, this is why women are terrified to walk around at night. It's like, I'm not really feeling this way. But you have powered through that at least, which I don't know. I think that's a lovely thing for us all to see.
I will say if you're a woman, just act crazy. People usually don't want to deal with crazy. I'll usually start with, if they even look at me, I'll start like a weird cough.
Oh.
If they're like even thinking about like, should I attack this person? They're like, God, this person's sick. Gross. You know?
I don't want to catch something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then you have like a weird
season.
twitchy movement and you start talking on your phone to no one or talking out loud. Or, there's so many things. I have a weird little gait, a weird walk. Yeah. There's a lot you can do that will deter people, even if they're normal and they're probably more scared of me. But there's a way to,
Even if somebody just wants to talk to you about the latest Avengers film. It's a way to get out of that interaction.
That's true.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that's how I scare everyone. I say, hey, how are you? And then they go, no. Creep. So, if people are looking for you, not in a cemetery,
where the woods of the cemetery.
Where should they follow you online or
Follow
in
me
person?
in the woods. But also, oh man, sorry, I'm like very ADHDing my way through the Greenwood Cemetery was the #1 place to visit in New York City like 120 years ago. That was like, people came to New York City to go there. That's such a cool fact. See, I'm not crazy. I'm just born in the wrong. Anyway, they should find me.
That was before the Nathan's hot dog guy was buried there. He was alive. He was like, that's where I'm going to be buried.
There was actually, I read a thing on Greenwood, and it was basically like they had not considered that there were going to be a lot of dead people in New York. And it's just like years went by. It's like, oh, it turns out we've got a lot of dead people. And then we need to build this big fucking cemetery. It hadn't crossed their mind, the possibilities.
Wow. Yeah, where do we put them? I still don't understand how we fit dead bodies in New York City. Because there's one now and now. And there's going to be one now. Like, where are those guys? What are we doing? Anyway, you can find me at Carmstagrams on Instagram. I'm also on all the other platforms if you like those, TikTok and YouTube, Carmen Lagala Comedy. That's where my special lives. I have a special called Sweet Batch. It's my debut special. It's doing pretty good I started out with like 9 followers, so it's doing well.
Hell yeah.
And
Great.
on the road, I'm always out there doing stuff. I think I'm in like Ohio and Vermont and Boston and Providence coming up.
Well, thank you, Carmen.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Let's all
Don't go to my
explore.
abandoned spots, you guys. Those are mine.
Thank you to Carmen Lagala. Check her out on the road or New York. Always funny. Dan, where can we check you out?
Oh, you can check me out at Dan Wilbur Comedy on TikTok and Instagram. I have some new JD Vance videos, but you can also see me in person with our very own Zach Sims every Wednesday night at Young Ethel's. It's called We Have Fun. It's a great lineup this week. You should come see it. It's free comedy. And that's all I have to plug. Zach, what about you?
Every Wednesday night, Park Slope, We Have Fun. I had a show last night, if you're listening to it when it dropped, and don't worry, Daddy crushed. You can see me on the TikTok. I posted a TikTok recently at Zach Sims Comedy, on Instagram at also Zach Sims, and you can hear us next week and every week until we drop dead. And until that day comes, see ya, hobbyholers!